So on today's episode of Consumer Corner, and this is your first time seeing Consumer Corner, something I've been trying to change this year. Maybe a more kind of a just us hanging out, having a beer, BSing about guns, and kind of sharing some of my knowledge and expertise in this space. And when I say expertise, I feel comfortable saying that because I've been in this business now 30 years, right? In the gun retail space. Started out behind the gun counter, RDR now 15 years, carrying a gun for over a decade for a paycheck, a handgun. And there's a lot of things I've learned over the years, seen things come, seen things go. But when I do this one, it's kind of to give you guys a little bit of insight on hopefully maybe helping you make a conscious purchase. Not selling you on any one thing, but what I share with you on this topic crosses over to anything 5-inch 2011. We'll talk about some things like barrel lengths or barrel styles, grips, triggers, optics mounting, etc., right? And this is just something to give you guys a little ammunition when you go shopping to look at a pistol and think, oh, okay, I like that, didn't like that, and kind of give you an outline of how to shop for a 5-inch 2011. All the pistols we talk about today, we support with holsters for FIREARMS products, holster mods, holster wraps, accessories, all that you can find on our website at rdrgear.com. So again, these are all 5-inch 2011s. They're all light bearing. They're all optics ready. There are some different slides, cuts, and ports and things, and we'll discuss those as well as we go. So you're thinking, why do I need a 5-inch 2011? Honestly, you don't. I don't know if there's any true scientific data out there other than maybe velocity, right? With certain ammo, if you're building ammo for a 5-inch 2011, because for the longest time there weren't short guns being used in competition space, right? It was a 5-inch tricked out single stack gun, or it was a 1911 double stack pistol, and I think just history in the 5-inch government pistol is what everybody used, right? We go back all the way to World War I, World War II, Vietnam, in the special mission units during the 80s and 90s. All those guns were 5-inch government slide pistols. So it just everything was kind of built off a government slide gun until we started seeing commandos were always there, but commandos were more known as maybe a carry gun, where the 5-inch gun could be a duty gun, it could be a competition pistol. You know, it was kind of your go-to-war length style gun. Fast forward to competition space, we now have double stack guns. But if you wanted to run a P, I see dudes all the time competing with Ps. There's nothing that says you have to have a 5-inch length. I think most of the bigger major winners of the USPSA world prefer a 5-inch gun, and I think that's probably more maybe due to some balance and again velocity, because they're maybe making a round, reloading a round that works in that barrel length. So when you look at a pistol, you know, number one, I would say, what's your budget, right? Number two, what's your intended use? Number three, holsters, accessories. What are you going to get for that pistol to use it for its intended use, right? And that's a big one because there are people who buy certain guns. I was on the phone today, guys, like, hey, I just got me a Glock 21. I had it cut for a red dot. I need a Safari holster. Dude, there hasn't been a Safari red dot holster for a Glock 21 for ever, right? Never been one made. So knowing your path for accessories is a really key component to being successful in your purchase. So your budget, there's got to be tell you that you have to buy the Atlas, right? If you're going to compete, you got to have an Atlas. Not many people out there can go drop $8,000 on a pistol. That's just, there are guys out there, but if you can't spell budget, my good friend Jeff at the Weapon Collective, then you can go Jeff's channel, hit up the Weapon Collective. You can see a lot of great 1911, 20, or more 2011s than anything there, but there's a 2011 made that's a higher end, super like hard to get. Jeff's got one, and he's probably got a review on one. So check out the Weapon Collective, because if you don't believe in budgets, Jeff's your best friend. So you guys will get along great. But when you get into that $8,000 price point, it jumps to double that, to triple that, to open guns, right? And then you're a serious competitor and you've got two of those now. That's not me, it's probably not you. But when you look at the tier of pistols in the over-the-counter purchase, this is 3 examples of that, right? And we'll talk about, and these 3 guns are production guns, meaning that they are parts and pieces from a bin, they are assembly line put together, and rarely do they ever get anyone who's going to fine-tune, file, and fit a part. If that part doesn't fit, usually that part's just discarded and another one is pulled, and that one fit, we move on. The one gun that would be here to dispel that would be my Alchemy high cap, but we didn't shoot that today, so I want to confuse you guys and seeing a gun that we didn't actually have B-roll on. But the Alchemy Quantico high cap is my personal pistol that I pretty much shoot all the time. That gun is just so well built that I don't have any problems taking it everywhere I go. That is a $4,400 pistol. Same with the XC. And then we drop down to around a MSR. I'm gonna give you some MSRP numbers, and we'll give you some street price. And don't quote me when I say this, because we're just gonna talk blanks, right? So 4 and change, 2 and change, and like, I think it's like 16 and change if they have one. But again, that's MSRP. So do your research and check out your local dealers to find what you can find. But when we look at these pistols, your budget, just as you have $4,000, does not mean you need to go out and spend it all on one gun. And because like an XC, for example, if you buy an XC and it's your top tier, you want one, and you can find pretty much anything holster wise for this. Pretty easy in all 3 of these guns, to be honest. But now what happens is you bought this gun and now you're into an open division, because with the comp on this gun, you would shoot an open class, right? And again, I go back to, remember I was saying your intended use, right? If it's sporting, this is tough because this is not an open gun. This is not even a poor man's open gun. This is just a comped pistol. Because those dudes are gonna run guns that they're making ammo for. The recoil has been totally removed from the pistol. They've got crazy mag wells. They got 26 round magazines. They're going to game it so hard against you that you can't really compete. You can show up and shoot, but you're probably not going to break that top 25 with this gun unless you already have the same skill sets from them. You just happen to show up with this pistol. But if you have the same skill sets of those guys, you're probably going to be shooting an open gun anyway, and you're going to have one made and all that kind of stuff. So again, look at your intended purpose, right? Can you shoot those divisions on this and just have fun? Absolutely. It's super fun. But again, if that is your intended purpose, to compete in a division and actually show up and go to matches to try to place and do well in, then maybe you look at a non-competitive pistol for that fact. But also when you go out and spend $4,400 on this pistol, you now have to have, let's give yourself $350 to $500 for a holster, belt, and a mag carrier rig, and then you already get a couple mags, you're getting a couple more mags. So let's say another couple $100 for magazines, and you need an optic. So all said and done, you're probably going to be in this thing around $6,500, $7,000, which is a lot of money, right? So again, going back to your research, plan, budget, intended use, accessories. So the Kimber Ji11. This, if I was to tell someone today, hey, I want to shoot USPSA and I just want to jump on Amazon and buy a black Scorpion rig for a 5-inch railed 2011 or 1911 double stack, this is the gun I would tell you go buy. This one will get you out the gate to the races, to a match, and have a great time shooting it. It is a very much match dedicated pistol. No comp on the slide. Just a very well built pistol. You could even, since you don't have a rear sight, just punch that front sight out, or have a gunsmith take it out for you, black it out with a Sharpie if you want. You don't need it, but the way the pistol is designed with those front serrations, so if you have a cold start off a table, you can rack that slide. Very well done. Aluminum grip module. You can add the mag well. The safety, I did a little blending on the safety to make it easier for my hand. But again, this pistol out the box is on a great option. Super clean trigger, very good slide to frame fit, very fast trigger. As I mentioned earlier, mag well you can get if you want one. Optics plate is an RMR cut. I don't know if they have anything else out yet for optics plates. You could run the HoloSun 507 comp, the big one, on it, get a much bigger window. And again, you'd still be in a super low end entry. Pistol and all your competition rig accessories might be $2,000 because you're getting 3 magazines already. You're getting the 117 mag to start with, 17 round mag, then you get the 2 20 round mags to start with as well. So you need a holster, belt, inner belt, and 2 mag carriers, and you're ready to roll to your first match. So this is a great place to be, and I'm very pleased with the quality of this pistol. If you're seeing this video and you haven't watched the other one, we just finished a 2,000 round review on this pistol. Phenomenal pistol. It's very well done on that one, right? And very budget conscious. The Prodigy. Now you're right back to kind of where we're at with the staccato with this particular one, because we are in the comp model. Now, comp model guns are always going to help you shoot a match faster, right? You're going to have less muzzle rise, but a comp is never going to fix fundamental skill sets. As my boy Mark at JBS always says, time on task, right? If I shot a stock pistol and trained enough time with a stock gun, I'm going to shoot the stock gun just as well as I shoot this gun, even though with the comp on there, because I am going to have good sight, good grip, good trigger press, good stance, and I'm going to be looking at my targets or target focused. I'm going to be able to diagnose what I see in my splash and my red dot, and I'm going to be able to shoot and see sooner than rely on the comp to help the recoil to help me see longer, all right? Again, it puts you in a different division, and if you try to go shoot this pistol at a match and you don't care about competing, go, have a good time, you'll enjoy yourself. But if you want to actually do something there, this ain't the gun to show up to that. This is your tactical range training. If your department allows you to have a 2011 or 1911 double stack type pistol, this is an entry level way to get into that position, that job. You have the suppressor height sights, co-witness from the irons, and your red dot. Everything you need for this to be kind of a duty gun, tactical games, 2-gun would be great. I would shoot this in 2-gun, rifle and pistol. So when you look at the price point of the Prodigy, what you can do to it, right, with your accessories and being able to make it your own, there's a lot there to work with, and the actual base blank canvas is a really good place for that individual who wants to make it their own, right, and personalize it and do things to it. So again, that is an option there, because if you have the budget for either one of these two and you're going here, you're the pistol, your red dot, your holster, your magazines, you're all that and then some at the end of the day. 5-inch 2011 space, or 1911 double stack space, whichever you want to call it, it is massive. It is enormous. And there are models that are less than the Prodigy, right? And those ones there maybe aren't really so much the competition gun, but they're the pistol that allows someone who's never been here before get into it and try it out, right? And see, oh, maybe that's something for me. Because you've got the Platypus with the Glock magazines, you've got the Live Free, I believe they're called, you got the Fusions. There's so many other options here, and then we just start jumping from here forward, right? Once you get past that $5,000 price point, you also have the thing about waiting for a gun, right? They're not gonna, very rarely can you walk into a shop and get one off a shelf, especially if they're kind of Gucci-fied with the upgraded grip modules and mag wells and slide cuts and all that kind of stuff. Those limited drops, they're tough because you got to be ready, joining the spot when that thing drops with money in hand, you know? And let's face it, I mean, we're in the middle of summer. My nieces are going to this new camp that is probably going to bring up my brother, but they love it there, so it's worth it, right? But for single guys, you know, for me, $8K on a new pistol is not happening. But then I say that, but then I've also have the SPR rifles that got 8-9 grand in tied up in those, right? So for me, I think since I'm not a dedicated USPSA shooter where I'm literally every week going out to the range with my buddies, setting up a stage, working on my movement, all that kind of stuff, dry firing every night in the house, that investment's not sound for me. But for you guys, if that's something you want to get to, there is nothing wrong with starting on a training wheels to get to where you want to go, right? And by going to something like the Kimber or the Prodigy without the comp, either one of these two are a great place to start, because then you decide, oh, I really do enjoy this, and you want to go have an open gun made. More power to you. If I could go back in time 5 years, you might be able to convince me to build an open gun, right? And shoot open. Because if you're a younger guy and you're pretty athletic, you can kind of game it with an open gun and shoot like a 38 Super or some other, you know, power factor. And now you're winning off power factor and you're winning on points because now you're able to move faster than some of the older guys. Like here at the matches, there's a lot of these guys out there who are shooting open who are older than me. They don't move as fast, but they know the game, right? And they can shoot well. And their guns are shooting a bullet that they've made a recipe for that pistol to where it's literally just a poof and the gun goes no recoil whatsoever. So those are some things you can kind of play with and go. And if you're kind of on the fence about classifications in this space, go to a match, go watch one, shoot, hell, take the gun you've got and go shoot one, right? Everybody's pretty welcoming of these things. And like the one here in the Armory here in Sandy, Utah, they do like an intro class to USPSA, which is great. But I know there's a lot of ranges that have like an open night or an intro night. If you want to go try one out, just research it in your local area. I'm sure you'll be able to find one. So, you guys, but this is a confusing space because if I talk to 10 dudes on social media, they're buying this gun. They're buying the XC. It's expensive, so it must be good, right? And if you watch any of my reviews on this pistol, they're honest. And I paid full nut for this gun. I bought it retail, off the shelf, because I needed it. I had to have it for a holster fitment for the business. I didn't want to buy one. I knew that I had shot one. I had buddies who had one. I wasn't like, oh wow, that's absolutely worth every bit of $4,000 plus. Not at all. If this was $2,850, $2,900 all day, but it's not for $4,300 or $4,400 for their cost nowadays. So keep that in mind when you're shopping. Look at your intent, look at your budget, look at the accessories you need to accomplish your goals. That's kind of the format recipe I would say when you're shopping for any pistol, for that matter, right? It doesn't have to be this, it can be anything, because people buy guns that there aren't holsters for, right? Not every manufacturer works with a holster manufacturer to make sure there's everyday carry essentials for those guns. That's been the black eye in the business forever, right? And it's just one of those things that not every gun has an accessory for it. And so do your research before you pull the trigger, no pun intended, but make sure you have your ducks in a row before you go and drop all your hard-earned cash, because sometimes you're going to buy a gun that's just, you're going to regret, right? I have a safe full of regrets right? The guns that I just bought and I haven't ever used again. And there are rifles and things and guns I've sold that I kick myself in the ass every time I see someone else who has one. But when it comes to 2011s, 911 double stack pistols, the market is deep. It's wide. Do your research. If you have questions, email me, DM me. Shit, I answer DMs about random stuff all the time on questions because you guys ask me, which I enjoy. I enjoy interacting with you guys and helping you maybe avoid a pitfall that I know I made, or I have another customer who made it, so I can help you avoid it. Call me, email me, DM me, whatever. I'll get back to you. And if I've interacted with you in the past, you have my phone number, save it in your phone. As long as you don't call me in the middle of the night, right? That's the only thing, you know. I know I'm up. I'm just ignoring your phone call. So, but anyway, shoot me a DM, shoot me a text. I will do my best to help you. If you have questions, info@rdrholster.com. You need accessories, plate carriers, placards, test rigs, holsters for these types of guns. Hit the website, rdrgear.com. Next time, be well. Take care.